Today we are joined with Josh Schneider, who is one of the leading plant finders. He has a great eye for flowers and helps companies all over the country develop varieties. And today he's going to talk a little bit about Suntory. Are you familiar with the company?
Absolutely. Suntory changed the horticulture industry globally.
Wow.
Yeah, Suntory was responsible for some of the most innovative introductions of the last 30 years, really. No one had ever heard of a Calibrachoa. They thought it was a petunia. So the Million Bells introduction completely revolutionized what American gardeners could do in containers, and it just changed the way, certainly I gardened, but people from now into eternity are going to be excited about Calibrachoa because of Suntory's eye and focus on introducing something that works for the gardener that wasn't just pretty.
That says a lot coming from you, so they really raised the bar. Can you tell us a little bit more about their impact in the industry?
Sure. I think one of the most interesting things about Suntory is over the years, the horticulture industry is focused on what works for the grower, what's convenient and what will grow easily. And sometimes they don't always focus on the gardener's needs and landscape and garden performance. Suntory is very focused on performance for the gardener, and so they test their products extensively all over the world to make sure they're going to work. So the variety of petunia that they introduced, the Surfinia series, was pretty aggressively growing, and it made growers a little bit nervous. But the gardeners loved it because you had one plant that would cover 5 or 6 square feet. And so you literally had just masses and masses of flowers. So Suntory really had vision for what the gardener wanted, and they focused their development and their plant hybridizers on really selecting products that would work for the gardener first. And then they worked to make sure that it worked for the grower.
Such a wonderful concept, because who has the time to spend all day in the garden?
Well, I know that I aspire to that, and
maybe
Suntory,
you,
yes,
but not
I wish that I had more time to spend in the garden. But I think that the idea is that with plants that are tougher and easier to grow, more disease resistant, more free flowering, you actually can spend more time enjoying the plants in the garden, not having to work so hard on them. So a better plant up front makes your life easier.
What is Suntory doing today and working towards in the future in regards to their products?
Well, I mean, they haven't taken me into their counsel about the future too much, but what I see them doing now with varieties like Sun Parasols or Sundeville, the Mandevilla varieties that are just spectacular. The colors and the flower size and shape, the heat tolerance and durability in the garden, they're extraordinary. And so plants like those and the Cinetti varieties, which are a daisy that just looks like it was plugged into an outlet. It's so electric colored. These are plants that really don't have a history in the marketplace as such, and so they were a little bit difficult to get out, to get through the growers and the commercial production people and get to the consumer. But once the gardeners got them in their gardens, they went crazy for them, and the demand came, and so Suntory has been able to innovate and focus on the gardeners' needs. And they have a very large, I mean, it's a large company. They have a lot of resources that they've put behind making the world a more beautiful place. And I think that really says something about the culture of a company when they're willing to focus not just on profit, but on giving something back to the environment and to the world.
Any other benefits of the Suntory product that you didn't mention?
Well, I mean, I think that they're just very interesting. There's so many different varieties that you could almost fill your garden with Suntory flowers. And they're all, you know, when you see the Suntory brand, that they're tested and they're going to work really well in your garden. So it's kind of a gardener's confidence collection. You know the plants will grow. So even someone who doesn't feel like they're really a great gardener, they can have pretty sure guarantee that when they buy a Suntory Flowers product, it's going to do really well for them.
I don't think you need to say anything other than that. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Liz.